How would it feel to have a thriving fitness business and have the freedom to enjoy life at the fullest? Well, that is exactly what the Trainer Revenue Multiplier Show is going to give you. My name is Matthew Park. This is Jamie Filer.
Hey guys.
And we are here to serve. Hello. Oh, go ahead, Jamie. You got this.
What's going on, everybody? And welcome to the Trainer Revenue Multiplier podcast. As always, I am your host, Jamie Filer, and I am joined today by Matthew Park. It is a special episode.
Jamie, great to see you, champ. As always, just making magic happen, getting this show rolling, and always bringing the wisdom. So, Jamie, always a pleasure.
Amazing. Amazing. So, Matthew, I really love the topic you picked, and it's so appropriate because even though technically the end of the year, we know as trainers and really as human beings, as winter approaches and as there are more holidays, especially for those of us in America, in general, the energy just starts to slow down. It's similar to the summer, right? It's nice outside. People are focused on beers and barbecues and just everyone's like a little bit more lax. So that was essentially what you wanted to poke at, is that why are we lax? Why are we coasting going into the end of the year? But I would love to hear a little bit more about why you picked this topic.
Well, going into Thanksgiving, we can for you guys, of course, the U.S. side of things right now is this week. So, of course, you guys are going into your Thanksgiving long. And then Christmas is basically a month away, end of the day, right? So I want to poke at this, number one, because I think a lot of coaches and trainers, of course, TRM coaches, not so much, but in general, coaches in general, I think get lost into this. Well, let's just sort of do our lowest necessity needs up until Christmas, and then start to ramp our business up in January, which obviously means you're missing an opportunity. Now, we had a call on Monday, Jamie, correct? And you mentioned you had one of your biggest months of the year in November, which is freaking awesome for you and Katie, correct?
Always, actually. You know that the only promotion that Filer Fitness does is Black Friday, not my birthday, not anything. It's always Black Friday, but go ahead.
And that was beautiful because hearing that is an example right there, guys, of, Filer Fitness, of course, had their biggest month in November. It's the month before December, going into a really strong December month. Now, coaches, when you're going into Christmas time or going into this next 4 weeks, it literally is a time of discussion as far as what areas could you be working on to set yourself up for success in January. So when the things do start lifting up, you're ready for the growth and you're ready for the step. And you aren't trying to play catch up in doing so.
Absolutely. I think another important psychological tip is, so you explicitly use the phrase trainers start to ramp up their business in January. What I've found is that sometimes trainers don't ramp up their business. They rely on their businesses to be ramped up in January. It's almost like they wait for the people to come to them in January. You know what I mean? It's significantly more passive than active, which I think is a problem. But yeah, I think to your point, there's no need to slow down our minds or our systems between now and January 2nd.
Agreed, Jamie, 100%. If we look at things right now going into December for you guys and you're listening to this, you're thinking, well, what can I be working on between now and end of December? What can be addressed or improved and maximized? Of course, we'll go back and forth, Jamie, and of course, share thoughts from both of us on this. I can get the ball going and share one of the first things we definitely be working on. And I would definitely say the systems part of things is definitely the first one I want to address is, have you audited your systems? Have you gone through your coaching application funnel and looked at, is everything up to date? Are emails current or are they still from 2 years ago?
Yep.
Okay. Is maybe your lead magnet properly aligned? Are the emails going out there a year or two old and need some updating and cleaning up as well? Because of course, those are important things that people are seeing and downloading and consuming. And if they're still like old or just, not current, that can affect lead gen flow going into the new year.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll also put you at a disadvantage because if your CRM is getting a notification that like 50% of your emails aren't active or you're sending them to bounced accounts, it's going to start putting your email newsletters into other people's spam. So
Yeah.
it is in your best interest to clean it up so that you have a higher open rate because you only have an engaged audience getting your emails and opening them.
Yeah, agreed. Totally, Jamie, for sure.
Uh,
And
go,
you go ahead, Jamie. Go ahead.
no, please keep going.
So it's like looking at those things. Jamie made a good point actually about the numbers. So looking at your open rate, right? So if you're getting an open rate of 50% or 30% or 10%, anything lower than like 20% usually is a big problem. So
Yeah.
looking at those things, right? And if you have 3,000 emails, but there's 500 that there's like a big echo right now. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but and 500, of course, probably aren't even active anymore. Like you mentioned, Jamie, that also can be a big issue on spam. So it's really I guess the first thing addressing is systems and looking at what you currently have. Has it been looked at? Has it been reviewed? Has Laurent took a look at the back end? Have you looked, Jamie, at maybe clients, follow-up system and made sure that their follow-up emails or whatever they're doing are up to speed? And that's definitely one of the things to look at and address between now and the end of the year.
Cool. I love it. Another one, and this is going to be slightly more passive, which is great if that's the mood or the vibe you're going for, is a lot of trainers are affiliated with other brands. We have a lot of people in our ecosystem with BioEdge and with First Form. We've got some Magnum people, right? Even if you don't necessarily have a promotion, there's a very good chance Magnum, BioEdge, whatever CBD company, Dark Sport Athletics, they're having a Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Boxing Day, Christmas sale. If you are an affiliate for a company, go push them hard so that at least your commission will go up this month, even if your own personal training sales haven't gone up this month, right? Take advantage of other people's distribution channels so that you can make more money off their promotions.
Yeah, that's a great one, Jamie, for sure. I love that. I love that. What are things else you can think of, Jamie, that comes to mind for you that are on systems or marketing going into the new year?
Creating a ton of content. So to your point about email newsletters, go write like 15 of them using the help of Chat GPT over the next 2 weeks, and then just line them up with whatever frequency you can stick to, whether that's bi-weekly, weekly, or monthly. Preload them into your CRM, or before I got the engine, I used to save them in my notes section of my MacBook. And then I would just launch them, on whatever, the 15th of every month or something. So yeah, I would definitely work to create email newsletters in advance, more copy in advance. So this is about everything. Maybe now's the time you start thinking of what a 5-day free challenge might look like. Maybe now's the time you start thinking about your next lead magnet, right? It's a great time to collect 10 holiday recipes or 10 high protein recipes that won't blow your macros. So I guess now's really a good time for creation.
Yeah, agreed, for sure. I love that. Yeah, creation, marketing for sure. And it also could look at what is your overall marketing / business plan going into the new year? What you get done now that sets you up for success going into the new year so you can maximize your business growth now, right? At the end of the day. So I love that. That's awesome, Jamie. I would also, this kind of goes back to a general review, of course, but looking at what can you achieve that is a stretch for you before the end of the year. So right now, if you've been kind of focused on just putting out your content, getting on the sales calls, amazing. That's keep doing those amazing things. But what else could you add? That's one small or big thing that if you achieved it for the end of the year, it would be a huge, massive win that gets you set for success for next year, right?
Yeah.
It could be that partnership with that supplement company that you've been wanting to do for the last 6 months, right? It could be the lead man to get that done. So you actually have a second one brewed up for the new year, right? It could be the 5-day challenge you mentioned about, Jamie. That could also be an aspect. But what is the one big thing, BHAG, you can do or get done that would push you but also propel you into the new year.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Great psychological tip there. In terms of strategy, another thing you can do is, again, I know that you can do this with the engine. If somebody says no on a sales call, you can put them into an opportunity. For me, it's called no thank you, but everyone has whatever it's called. So the end of the year is a great time to go through all of your no thank yous. Try to hop back on a call with them and pitch a delayed start date. So go in knowing they still might say not yet because this is such a hectic time of year for everyone. But you can always say something to the effect of, no problem. Tell you what, if you put $100 down now, I will put you into my Facebook group. I'll put you on our bi-weekly Zoom calls with my entire team. I'll even drop you in my WhatsApp group chat. But you won't officially start the program. I just want to get you acquainted with the community so that as soon as January 2nd hits, we can get a strong start from the training and nutrition perspective, right? And for them, it's only $100, right? You're not going to charge them the full amount until the new year, but it's still a way to engage them and give them a head start on their goals, which they will inevitably want to hit come 2024.
Oh, that's a good one, Gene. It's a good one. Very good one. Oh, wow. So there's one for you guys right there. In looking at your database of people that, going back to what Jimmy's comment about the no thank you or no thank you funnel or clients that weren't on yet, go back to your database. If you have a list of 500 or 200 or maybe thousands of people, but you had like 50 people or more or less that you didn't close up to this point, now is the time to reactivate those people, reach back out and go the extra mile. Give them a selfie video, give them a phone call, leave them a voicemail, give them a text message, and basically get back on the phone and or offer them your Black Friday special if you got one. If you don't, no big deal. If you do, great. And now get them warmed up and or signed up now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going into the new year, offer them, the Black Friday special or offer them a free month or a certain amount of extra value in your package to get them signed up for the new year. So now it's kind of the time to also maximize your database and go through it and really like hammer through it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Next one is you're going to want to send out holiday cards. So Katie, myself, and Asia, our assistant coach, we are doing this. So we actually have a cute little holiday photo shoot scheduled for Friday afternoon. When we're recording this, it's the day before Thanksgiving. So we're going to do a holiday photo shoot. And then we're going to turn that into holiday cards, which we will send out first week in December for all of our current clients. That we'll do is everyone puts cards that they receive on their fridge or on their mantelpiece or wherever. So when other people visit and they see like the 3 jacked females on a client's fridge, they'll be like, what family is this? And our clients will say, oh, actually, our trainers sent us a holiday card. And those people will be like, wow, that's so cute. My trainer didn't give me a holiday card. So get your holiday cards out. Obviously, TRM knows that we have connections with Postables. You can use Minted. There's one called Handwritten now, which is really cool. But the other thing you can do is insert 2 or 3 of those VIP cards in your holiday card so that not only are you sending your current clients a holiday card, which is a gesture of good faith and keeps them engaged. But if you give them 3 cards to give out to their best friends that each have 10% off a coaching package, now they can also give the gift of fitness to other people. They get $50 for that referral. You bring even more people into your ecosystem.
Very good. Very good, Gene. That's a good lead off the holidays. Awesome stuff there. I love that. Guys, you're being filled right now with a lot of value here on actually how to prepare for the new year here. Is there anything, Jamie, on your end that you haven't done yet, but comes to mind that would be important for clients or people listening to do before the end of the year to maximize their business going into 2024?
I mean, I think I gave everything that came to mind. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could work a little bit more on doing the email newsletters, but that's something that we do year round because we don't slow down just because it's the holiday season. So there's nothing that I personally haven't done, but I mean, there's always something I could be doing.
I think I was almost looking at it too as when you have that moment, of course, before guys looking over your progressive year, I think a lot of people actually don't do this one thing. They don't review their progress enough.
Mm,
And doing your progress allows you to dissect where you could improve, where you could get better in your process, right? So if you've progressed the last 3 months or since January of this year, and you look at where was your wins, where was your losses, where were the things you could improve, where were your failures, where was your big, awesome, massive, gigantic wins, and then ask the question, okay, cool, I have this nice roster of stuff that I've been doing over the last how many months. Then ask the question is, what could you do over the next month that could almost make next year that much more bigger and better, right?
mm.
So getting in that almost in that gain mindset as opposed to the gap mindset, and really maximizing the few 20% as opposed to the 80% going forward.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking to that point, if you look at your metrics and you notice that March, June, and November were really slow months, well, that's a great time to plan maybe a scholarship campaign or because it's spring, we're doing a huge giveaway, right? Like a $10,000 coaching giveaway, right? There's always something. I don't want to say you're playing in the gap, but almost by recognizing the gap, you see the opportunity for a gain. If March is slow, do a scholarship. If you don't get people in the summer months, do a 5-day free challenge. If nobody's hitting in November, now's your time to do it. Then you know next year to do a Black Friday promotion. So take a look at your metrics, see where those ebbs and flows are, the gaps and the gains are, and then always exploit the weakness so that going into 2024, it won't be a weakness anymore.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. Just to be clear, guys, that that what the gap actually means, guys, is more so comparing yourself against a third outside force beyond yourself, right? So, for example, if we're like comparing ourselves to Jimmy Fowler, who's obviously a machine, you might feel a little bit left field. Where if you compare yourself just yourself, and you get in that gain mindset, as you mentioned, you might look through your lower metric months from this past year and just learn from your lowest month. What can I actually do to improve from March or April? And that will transform you from, a place almost like feeling almost defeated to a place of actually empowerment, where now you're pre-planning and proactively progressing into a bigger future.
I hope that's what I said meant by looking at your own metrics, right? Not looking at don't look at my metrics, guys. Look at your metrics. Yes. Love it. Okay, cool.
Totally. But no, definitely it's progressing in that direction. The biggest thing is we're coming to the end of the year. It's November the 22nd. I think just getting to all the members listening, or those, of course, watching or hearing this on iTunes or Spotify, it's just looking at what can be done to make you better going into the year and finishing off strong, really is summing up just like that at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. I would also encourage you to take a couple days off, because I think that even though there's so much you could be doing to prepare you, that'll put you in an amazing place, almost like a slingshot. Like we're building so much momentum November into December, and then we're going to launch you in January. If 2024 in general is projected to be bigger than 2023, which it should be, you're going to want to bank those days off and that energy now, almost like a solar panel, right? Like it collects all the sunshine so that it can illuminate the house come, the whatever 8 hours of darkness. Dude, enjoy the days off that you have in November and December, because hopefully not hopefully, because we don't hope, but as expected in January and February, there will be no time to slow down. So enjoy it while you have it.
That's an awesome point, James. So I'm almost like to go off of your point about the days off, which actually could be an aspect of looking at reviewing your year and then planning your progressive move forward. So, for example, Jamie's amazing topic on recharge days, or I guess we'll call them free days for now anyway, right?
Yeah.
Where could you fit them in your calendar going forward on the busy months? Right? Yeah. Jamie has an amazing point. Like, guys, we can't always go 24/7, 7 days a week. That's burning out. But if you could maybe look at, okay, you want to put in free days into your calendar going into maximizing your days, because that could be an angle for you. So you're working 7 days a week right now, or even like 6 days a week right now, but you want to incorporate 5 days of work or 4 days of work. How could that look going into the new year with those additional 1 or 2 free days in the course of the week?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good plan. Plan your days months ahead of time. Yeah, decide that going forward every Wednesday, you're going to stop working at 1 o'clock. And that's it. And that's what you're going to keep to. That is going to be a core value that you maintain throughout the year.
Yeah, totally, James. Totally. I'm kind of curious, what's one thing you've done maybe in the last year or on your time schedule that's really impacted your productivity the most?
So this is, again, don't compare ourselves to me, guys, but Katie and I have gone away once a month. Whether it's for Friday through Sunday or Monday through Friday or Wednesday through Sunday, we take ourselves out of the state. And because we're on vacation, I'm putting that in quotes because sometimes it's a work vacation, a work trip. I don't work more than 90 minutes a day. So that has prevented me from burning out and pulling 8, 10, 12-hour days, because when you're in New York City or when you're in Arizona or when you're in North Carolina, you don't want to spend 8 hours a day indoors. So I've learned that with a solid 90 minutes of deep focus, I can do what I need to do as a CEO of my business.
That's amazing. So if we could, James, for 1 second, because actually it's a beautiful example, because where you've come in 3 years to now it's beautiful. It's actually very beautiful, because I remember getting a text from you on your first vacation with Katie. I think it was, oh my gosh, where was it, Jamie? It was like was it Mexico or somewhere else?
It could have. Oh yeah, I think so. I think it was Mexico. Yeah.
It was around almost this time, like this time 3 years ago. And you kind of started the aspect of taking time with Katie, and you started like, move into it kind of step by step. And now you're taking time off every month. Like that's a huge growth process that just shows where you were to where you are now, which is beautiful, because it's almost inspiring to hear what is possible over a time span.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you'll never know until you take that first vacation. You might be really nervous about client fulfillment or onboarding or sales calls, but the work will always be there. That's all.
Yeah. You just get better as you go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Any last question before, do you want to kind of go over any last thoughts or questions or topics you want to bring up before we?
Yeah, I would just urge you or encourage you not to do everything we suggested between now and January 1st. I would pick 1 or 2 meaningful tasks, whether it's batch creating your newsletters or going through your no thank yous, whether it's going through your no thank yous and look at your metrics from this past year. Just do 1 or 2 things over the next 4 to 5 weeks, and that will be enough to propel your business forward in 2024.
And that's a great point, 100%. I love that. So that's it basically concludes kind of my thoughts too, guys, because Jimmy has a good point, 1, maximum 2 things. And then the other part, as you plan your next year, don't forget to look back on where you've come this year as you plan the next, to get you in that process of like how far you've come in 12 months or 11 months to get in the gain mindset, but also to get you in a place where you can propel even faster for the next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing.
Beautiful. All I got, man.
Thank you so much. Those of you in podcast land, hope you got a ton of value from this. It's definitely going to be one you save and revisit for sure. In the meantime, if you like what you heard, make sure you rate, subscribe, and share with your friends on social media. Matthew, where can people find you?
Official Matthew Park with 1 T.
Amazing. I am at Jaime91. We are at Trainer Revenue Multiplier. Hope you have an amazing holiday season, friends, and we will see you next week.
Later, team. Thanks, James.